what does the client life cycle look like for an MSP? And I'm not just talking about the life cycle where you're like, hey, I'm helping them out. I'm talking about from attracting and getting that first client all the way to servicing, and then unfortunately the saddest part, offboarding. And I have a bunch of tools that are going to make your life really, really easy, but also how to increase that lifetime customer. So maybe instead of them sticking with you for a year or two, they stay with you for 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 years, which makes your company even more profitable. My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow through digital marketing and sales education. And that's what we're talking about in today's video. Before I get into today's video and show you guys everything, there's a couple things I need to cover really, really quickly. Number one, if you have not entered for the giveaway, this may be the last time you have a chance to get in the giveaway. There's a link down below. It's a bunch of tools that an MSP is going to need. I've also partnered up with a company called Billways. They threw in some extra stuff into the giveaway as well, and they're giving away some subscriptions to their software, which makes it easier for MSPs to bill and invoice their customers. It is an actually really, really cool platform. I have some special stuff coming with them. Number two, as always, masterclass is down in the links below. 5 ways to make your MSP significantly more profitable. You have to go get that. And then third, last but not least, if you're watching this before January, or heck, even in the future, check down below. I'm running an MSP Launchpad Bootcamp. 6 weeks to take you from no customers to closing your first deal. It is undoubtedly, first of all, it's the only thing on the internet that exists like it, but two, it has every trick in the book and teaches you everything from the legal paperwork to your SOPs, all the way to bringing on that first client. So let's get into today's video. Now I've taken quite a lot of notes, and I'm going to share with you guys my screen so you guys can see the tools that I'm referencing, and it's going to help you tremendously when going through this process. Now, the first thing that we have to think about is actually bringing in a new customer. Now, this is usually the hardest part for most people because they don't have a couple different things. One, they don't have a buyer persona. Now, I've talked about my buyer persona so many times in the past. If you want it, there's a free link down below. There's no cost associated with it. Go get it. And it just makes you paint the picture of the buyer persona, who it is, and ultimately how you can target these people. Because when you know who to target, all of a sudden, everything becomes much, much easier. The kind of business they are, the kind of business person they are, what kind of things, are they hanging out online? What kind of activities do they like? What are they spending their money on? How are they growing their business? All of this really plays in a huge factor. So you can modify and adjust your marketing materials, your website, and your approach to close more deals. I've also actually included something that I don't think enough of us use. And if you have a website and you're getting some traffic, there's a really cool tool called Happier Leads. Inside of Happier Leads, it just allows you to see who's visiting your website. And the nice part is it'll show you the companies, it'll show you their contacts to the best of their ability, their email addresses, and they're constantly doing more work on the platform. I use it for my business all of the time. It's a no-brainer. It literally removes the cover to show you who's visiting your website. And you can pick up this little device called a cell phone, I'm sure we all have one, to call these people and to have them buy. That's the coolest part about it. They already know who you are, but you didn't have the technology in place to see who they are. That's going to be the big difference. And if you do go buy from them, let them know I sent you. They'll hook you up with some extra bonuses in there as well. So client acquisition is the hardest part, no doubt. Now, after you get that first meeting, maybe you are a sales call genius, you're a cold call master. By the way, somebody in the private Discord, also linked down below, totally free to get into, had some insane success cold calling. He goes, I can't believe you're right. It is the fastest way to get a customer, undoubtedly. But after you get into that meeting, you're gonna need to send a proposal. Now that proposal is gonna have everything under the sun of what you're gonna be doing, how you're gonna be doing it, what services you're gonna be offering, and everything involved. And I love a platform called PandaDoc. Now, if you are a longtime subscriber, you know that I am a Go High Level lover. You can also send proposals through there. They don't look quite as nice, but I will say I still use PandaDoc. It is worth its weight in gold. If you're looking to keep costs down, I would stick with Go High Level. It's over here. And if you're interested in getting it, there's a affiliate link down below. Or for the same price, you could join MSP Mentor Minutes Also a link down below. It's a really cool software though. You can check signatures, you can go see all the documents, how many times people have visited it. It does give you a lot of detail, and the proposals look incredible. And having a solid proposal that a customer can actually go see is really, really worth it. I'm not just telling you that. A good proposal, a well-written, fully established proposal is almost always better and helps you just close that deal. You might be right there, and that proposal could help you get it over. I used to have incredible proposals, and you'd be shocked at how many people actually go through the entire thing. And I have a letter right here and read line by line every single thing on that proposal, leverage it and use it. Now, after you get through that proposal process, they sign that thing, we have the next step in the process, which is going to be onboarding. Now, onboarding is really important. I've created a mega IT onboarding checklist. Once again, if you want to get this, links down below. This will help you not mess up your onboarding strategy. You could go through it. It's going to do a client IT survey, infrastructure tour, historical IT challenges. Believe it or not, most of the time, companies consistently struggle with the same problems, and they're hiring MSPs who don't do a good job. Understanding their past challenges and their current challenges is only going to pave you a way for a longer term client. Day one onboarding, warm welcome, hardware check, IT orientation session, seeing what's going on in there. Your initial software training. This could be for them or your team if you're helping them roll something out. And setting up email and communication tools. Most companies don't even use them. You have an instant value add there. If you want this, there will be a link down below. It is 2 pages. It is extremely thorough. You can go through there. I'm building out a second one. You can go line by line. But now after you've done your onboarding, we have to talk about your service delivery. And I don't think I actually had this up on my screen, but you can go through your service delivery. The service delivery is going to be kind of following this. You're going to be taking a ton of notes, and all of those notes are going to be paired with the next area, which is you have to store them somewhere. I loved IT Glue. It's a fantastic product. You can save a bunch of information in there. And it's kind of that intermediate spot between onboarding, because you have to get all this information, and actually doing the work, because there's times that you're going to need passwords, documentation, all of that. IT Glue is for everything that you need to go through and what you actually have to do. The mega IT onboarding checklist right here is what you realistically need to go follow. Now let's talk about services, because once you do your onboarding, you're going to have to provide some services. Most common is going to be ConnectWise. This is ConnectWise, but this is IT Nation. ConnectWise is the most popular RMM and PSA tool. RMM, remote monitoring management, and PSA, professional services automation tool. Now, there's other ones out there too. I also love Atera, and there's some new ones popping up out there. I would say between the kings of the hill, ConnectWise is one of them. Atera is another one of them. There's plenty out there. You don't have to use that. I'm not an affiliate of either one of these companies, so feel free to use whatever you want. Just use what you like and what fits your business. Enable's another one. You can use Splashtop as another one. There is massive, massive value in going through this. I love Atera. I think it's I actually think it has the best user interface out of all of the platforms out there. But service delivery, the 24/7, 365 monitoring, updating your cybersecurity, patch management, all of that kind of stuff, and cloud services is going to be handled by your RMM and PSA tool. Some other additional tools. You're going to need to do some backups. We already know that I love Acronis, but there's other ones out there. There's a company called Comet Backup. They provide an incredible IT backup solution as well. Fantastic, fantastic choices. Use whatever you prefer. I love these companies. There's plenty of other ones out there. Just because I'm not mentioning it does not mean it's a bad software. And if you have any other softwares that you're like, Harrison, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, first, before you comment it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and then type away. Let me know what you love, because I'm always looking for the latest and greatest, and you might have heard of that, something that has never crossed my plate. I'd love to check it out. So we've talked about your service delivery and what you're going to be doing for your management and support. Those are going to be your RMM, PSA tool, and some cybersecurity tools with your backups is going to be really the 4 main topics that you're going to have and handle. Customer calls in, you're going to answer the phone and go help support their company. So what else actually is there to do? Because we've kind of covered what you have to do. We have a couple other areas that you can help increase the longevity of that customer, but also increase the profitability of that customer. Now, a lot of people, and I mean a metric ton of companies, do not do this. And I think this is the single-handedly, I'm in the process of rolling it out, best thing that any company does. And there's actually a major difference between like those Fortune 500 companies and the little guys. And then believe it or not, it's surveys. Most companies never ask for feedback. As a business owner or soon to be business owner, depending on where you're at, you might think, Harrison, I know exactly what my customers want. And while that might be true, it is so rare that business owners or soon to be business owners really know who their target market is. And not only their target market, but are getting feedback, how to make a better service desk, how to have a better customer experience, figuring out where your flaws lie, seeing maybe you might love your technician, but as soon as he gets out in the field, he's not the best person to deal with for a customer. You might not never know because you think he's the greatest thing. And he might just be on the brink of like, that customer won't call you and tell you, hey, I don't like that person. But if they're not, or they're not telling you, that could be a major red flag. I'm not saying everybody is. I loved going out in the field. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And I always got amazing reviews. But if you don't hear back from clients, you're not asking for surveys. So some easy surveys that you can do. One, there's a platform built into Go High Level to go do surveys, and you can send that out. You can actually automate it, which is pretty cool. And if you're like, hey, Harrison, I love Go High Level. I love that you love it. I don't want it. You could always go with the tried and true SurveyMonkey. There is limitations on the free versions. If you're going that route, it's fine. And if you have a website builder, you could probably build it into the website, asking a bunch of those questions and getting feedback over time. It's totally up to you. You can do an anonymous survey. You can do surveys with those people's contact information. There's always opportunities to get feedback. Not enough businesses. You call Verizon, T-Mobile, your local power company. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even your local grocery store at the bottom of your receipt usually has, call this number and give us feedback, and you'll get like a $50 or $100 gift card that they raffle off once a month. Everyone wants feedback. There's a massive difference between large companies and small companies and the amount of feedback that they ask for. Big companies, always, every time you buy from Best Buy, you get an email that follows up. You buy from your local mom and pop shop, they're probably not doing a survey, and that survey could help them make 10x what they want. Sorry, I just get so frustrated because there's so much money to be made and not enough people are leveraging their customers to give them feedback. And it makes your customer feel like they're a part of your company, not just a number on a piece of paper. It's a massive retention builder. Hey, every time an employee goes out, send them a survey. They don't have to take the survey. Nobody's got a gun to their head and saying like, hey, if you don't take this, it's the end. We're closing down your business. We're going to call the IRS on you. That doesn't happen. But getting good feedback is the chef's kiss, the secret gem in client retention. So let's talk about some other retention strategies in here and also how to make some more money. We have building in some new revenue. So let's talk about some VoIP services. Now I've pulled up RingCentral. You could use whatever VoIP provider that you'd like. There's plenty of them out there. RingCentral partners up with IT companies. You can usually make a pretty healthy margin when you sell their contracts. And a lot of times their contracts are years long. So you're locking that person in for years. And usually these are almost no maintenance. Is RingCentral the best? No, it's just one of the most popular ones. Feel free to use whatever your heart desires. After you're done upselling, there's really not too much left. What's going to happen is that customer is going to be with you for a year. They're probably going to fulfill your contract. So how do you actually go send them another contract? How do you talk about it? Well, one, you have to have a meeting. You can leverage these tools. But two, you probably need some way to send them a secure document. Once again, Go High Level. You can send them over proposals. But if you really want to lock in a nice legal contract, DocuSign is pretty much the industry standard. You can plug it in there. You can send it. It'll save files on both ends. It's fairly priced. It's a great little software. I've used it in the past if you'd like to use it. Also, some of these RMM and PSA tools like ConnectWise do have it built into the system. So don't think just because I'm saying DocuSign, you can get creative. There's plenty of other ways to go about these. This is just other ways that I'm telling you guys because you guys love tools. I hear about it way too often. DocuSign, fantastic, fantastic software. And if you think that there's another one out there, please let me know in the links down below. And that's really it. After that, we have the doomsday offboarding. It's actually easier than you think. It's not nearly as bad as most people think offboarding actually is. It's not that hard. You're just passing on the information. You can basically grab everything from IT Glue if you did a solid onboarding, pass it off to the next MSP, and offboard that client. Try to remove everything that you have. There will be times, and don't be the IT or MSP that is like, we're not giving you anything. If the client wants to leave, it's not worth usually chasing the money. Let the client go, remove the headaches. You're going to end up with hair like me, and that's not good. Just unfortunately, it's better off letting them go. If it's a lot of money, you might want to track that down, but you shouldn't let it go that long. And after that, let them go, give them a nice export from IT Glue, write down everything. These are the logins. These are the passwords. This is this. We're going to go in, remove all of our stuff. After that, take over it. Best luck to you guys in the future. And leave it at that. You might make friends with that company. They might send you customers. You might send them customers. Some customers aren't always a good fit for some companies. Doesn't mean you can't make money on it. Giving that referral out is a no-brainer. It's the easiest thing that you can do. And that is the whole client lifecycle. All 10 points. Every little aspect of the entire process laid out for you. And I'm going to review it. I'm just going to look at my notes here, but I'm going to review it. Client acquisition. Building that assessment out and that proposal out with Panda Docs. You have that onboarding with that onboarding cheat sheet. Service delivery. Going and doing those services. That ongoing management and support as well. It's kind of separate, but it's kind of not. They kind of belong together. You know, does a car have four wheels? Yes. But does a truck or a semi have four wheels? No, but it's still technically a vehicle, which could be considered a car. It's a little bit gray in there. You have those two areas. You have your ongoing management and support. You have your client retention strategies, supplying good services, going and getting those surveys back from them, and upselling, which brings me to number 8, upselling your renewals over and over and over again, hopefully for the next 10, 15 years, and those clients become incredibly profitable for you. And last but not least, that feedback, that client offboarding. Hey, why'd you leave us? Did we do something wrong? Using those surveys and letting that client go. That is all 10 steps of a client life cycle that you can be prepared for. And they don't skip. You're not going to do an offboarding before you do an onboarding. You have to go through them in that process. You might want to upsell early on, and that's okay too. Don't think that's bad. But those are going to be your 10 steps that you go through time and time again. Other than that, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm excited to see those of you that have signed up in the boot camp. Links down below for all of this. I'll even put the links that I've brought up here for you guys. Other than that, love you guys. I'll see you guys later.